Alright, welcome back. It's AM Ghana and thanks for joining us. Thanks to Nanima Collison for bringing us the news updates from Parliament. And we saw a lot of deliberations and the debate has started in Parliament as far as the budget of 2022 is concerned. We are going to be doing more on that. But thanks to you once again. And good morning to you wherever you are watching us from. We hope you are doing very, very well. We are here once again this morning. And of course, it feels great to come your way always to bring you what is being talked about as far as the country is concerned. I'm not here alone. I'm here with Juliana Ijoma, lady. Good morning, Juliana. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm blessed and highly favored. And I saw or heard this response yesterday across the MS National Science and Maths Quiz contestants. I'm wondering whether they are learning from me. There's a lot they should be learning. I know I help pre-seconds with the pre-sec boys with their science sometimes. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So you obviously you are supporting pre-sec.
Yes, because my brother is an Adoatv.
Oh, okay. I think the organizers of the science and maths quiz needs to be applauded. You know, over the past
How many years?
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
it was there and it got to a time it had to be rebranded. And trust me, those who sat down to think of rebranding the whole thing, expanding it for access. I mean, a lot of schools to get into it and compete have really done a yeoman's job, and they really need to be commended. They really need to be commended because you look at the patronage now.
I'm being threatened. McLean is daring to, not that he's daring, he's threatening me that I shouldn't speak against Keta school boys.
They are one of the schools that I've had the opportunity to engage them before when I was doing my national service. I did my national service in that area. So a few times I went into the school and had some engagements. And for me, I am happy that it is not just your usual schools.
Big,
I yesterday I was talking to somebody about. In fact, when this year's science and maths quiz started, I said that you see, maybe gradually we will get there, but it always comes down to some 7 or 8 schools.
That's true.
They are previous winners, and they are the only schools going to the finals mostly. I mean, you see them in the final. This year, I said that I am expecting Presec, Prempe, and Peters in the final. And there is Presec and Peters in the and Prempe in the final. So
made
good. You have in the last 5 years, they are the schools 6-7 years. They are the schools that have been going to the finals and been winning Presec, Prempe, Peters at this other college, St. Augustine's at Shemota. You have
Pokuare.
Yes, Pokuare. These are the schools that you find in the finals. So what perhaps I am praying for is that we get more schools appearing in the finals, not the usual the usual ones, the usual winners appearing. But for instance, Ketasco is in the finals this year. I think in one of these years, I think the year my school won, or the following year, WAS was in the final.
Yes.
WAS was in the final.
Yes, I remember very well.
That was exactly that was another good thing for me. I think I've seen Aquinas in the final. Okay, Aquinas is the previous winner. I've seen Aquinas in the finals recently too, and this is good. We need more of the
schools breaking
other
grounds.
Schools breaking ground. Last year, Ola was closer to getting into the final. That lady was fantastic, but unfortunately, I mean, when you meet those guys in the finals, in the semi-finals,
you meet those guys.
Yes.
Yes, and that was one thing that piqued my interest yesterday, because my cousin asked me, why is it that the female schools are not? And I said that I think we generally and when we do in psychology, we know that ladies, when it comes to science and maths and calculation, you just have a few of them because of there's a brain thing that is attached to it. So I was asking, why don't we then have another kind of quiz that deals maybe with the social sciences, social studies,
I think there are.
English?
You know, there are, but the level, the altitude where science and math quiz is at now is what the other quizzes are not.
Failing to.
Yes, because you realize this thing started very, very long ago.
Ever since I was conscious.
Good. So very long ago. So I mean, we can't fight it. It has been there for long. So we just allow them to go. Yeah. Perhaps, I think there is this business quiz. There is one for these art students.
All right.
But maybe more should be done to raise it to the level where the science and math quiz is. But other than that, I have seen a couple of quizzes happening here and there. There is some for business students, some spelling. Exactly. So maybe the level that the science and math quiz is where the others also have to work and then perhaps get to that level. Because trust me, yesterday I saw pictures from Kumasi and I was so amazed. Like, you look at the numbers that are outside the auditoriums and cheering, supporting. That is marvelous.
But what I didn't like, particularly Chemu, SHS, when they realized they were losing, before you could say Jack, the support was gone.
Yes, I mean,
come on, you can't do that. When you're supporting someone, you have to go all the way. You can't just. I felt so bad for.
It happens sometimes. It happens sometimes. You realize that they were also close. When I saw Chimu, Peters, and Presec, I was like, oh, so bad for Chimu. You know, some of these schools, like the usual winners, the previous winners. If you look at the investment, some of them are doing in.
Yes.
That is so. I mean, it is no surprise that you mostly see them.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was telling another person that I think it's not just about you. I mean, being brainy, being an excellent student.
No.
I think experience is also part of it, because that is how come you see the same usual schools going straight to the finals. When we say, I said these three schools starting with a P, and they are in the finals.
Yeah.
So you realize that they have teachers who have been there
and dedicated.
Exactly. Teachers who have taken these students to the finals a lot of times.
Yeah.
So they know how to get to the finals.
Exactly.
So if you they know how to get to the finals. But if you're a first timer, I mean, they will just brush you aside and go to the unless you do something else.
You bringing that about the teachers. So it means that Presec, the Opoku Warriors, the St. Peters have found a system that works.
Exactly.
So irrespective of the contestants they put into it, it will still work. So anyway, I didn't want to be political. I was going to say, why don't we funnel this or channel it some way into? It means that we do have a system that works.
Oh,
and we can always build a system or a culture that works, irrespective of. So we, the people, as citizens as well, have a part to play.
Of course,
we can help build a system that will force whichever leader we put into it to work.
It's very true. They have a system that works. You go to the schools and right from Form 1, they have a way of keeping tabs and identifying
my brother
students.
Was this, so I know.
Exactly, students who are going to represent us. And some of the schools even go to the extra mile of having Form 2 students in the final 3 that they present.
Yeah.
So just imagine a Form 2 student, let's say representing Presec this year. We have seen it. Presec had a Form 2 student at some point. My school had a Form 2 student in the final 3 at some point. What would this same Form 2 student come? I mean, they will definitely go to the final the next year. So it's good. It's good that we are seeing Ketasco in the finals. Hopefully, we will be seeing more. I don't know. I don't also want to be biased, but quite unfortunately, I don't know whether Ketasco can win it. Because those guys are powerhouses. Prempe and Presec are power.
Yes,
you know, a 6 times champion and the 4 times champion. I mean, against a first timer in the final.
I mean, they have to be
in as much as I want the two of them to lose.
Far. They have come far.
I want the 2 of them to lose, actually, so that they
but you have to be realistic.
Exactly, but Ketasco.
All right, let's just do the newspaper. Otherwise, if you give us the whole day today, we'll not finish digesting this particular topic.
I mean, if you win, I'll be happy. But
we'll be happy for. I'll cheer you on. There's a promise. If you win, I'll look for your logo, your crest, wherever it is.
starting to say in a quiz now 72. Why?
I wasn't surprised anyway. But before I go to the daily graphic, this word of those who are linking Presec to the Blues, they are not the Blues. Please separate football from this one. They are not the Blues. Please don't let some of us.
And some people said yesterday, I read some comments. They said it looks as if the science and maths. Some people go to pass somewhere. This year, you know, people, the woman starts asking questions and people are answering the thing already. Hey. What is happening?
Anyway, truth and accuracy every day. That's from the daily graphic. Today is Wednesday, November 24. Yes, all too soon. November is gradually. We have less than a week, 6 days to be precise. And November 2021 will be over. This is what the daily graphic has for us this morning. Embrace tax measures. The finance minister appeals to Ghanaians to embrace tax measures. Can we ever be happy with a lot of taxes? I don't know. How are we to embrace it, with a smile or to pretend that everything is well? I'm not happy about paying more taxes, but the finance minister is asking us to. There's more on that story on page 3, but the little here says that the Minister of Finance, the Mr. or Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, has called on Ghanaians to accept the tax measures in the 2022 budget as a rallying call to contribute their quota to nation building. He said while Ghana's developmental needs were enormous, its resources were... Did I hear that? He said while Ghana's developmental needs are enormous, our resources are meager. Our resources meager? No, I don't want to think so. Making it difficult for the government to provide adequate and sustainable development. I beg to differ on that particular point. Anyway, so this is what we were talking about. Prempe, Presec, and Ketasco for NSMQ finals, and that is on page 11. I just wanted to, yesterday, I was watching this on Joy Prime. They didn't really conclude for me, so I don't know the dates. I have to go. Do you have any idea of the date for the finals? Yes.
I think it will be on Friday.
I saw something 26th or 27th. Okay, I wasn't so sure. Okay, so I'll check later. I'm sure I'll bring it. Yeah. So again here, Asabi leaves SIGA to focus on NPP chairmanship. So SIGA is a state interest and governance authority. State interest and governance authority. Asabi, you are talking about Mr. Stephen Asamoah Boateng, the Director General of the State Interest and Governance Authority. So he wants to focus on the chairmanship. He's contesting for NPP chairmanship, and so he has left his post as Director General. Jumping on to, yes, other stories here. Okay, I'm not surprised that the Daily Graphic has captured Black Friday, where to go. And don't we love shopping, especially when it goes with the tag Black Friday. So 7 envoys present credentials to President Akufo-Addo, and there are pictures there on pages 24 to 25. Also, surface mining exclusive for indigents. That is coming from the Minerals Commission. And on the back page, or let me do a little on education. Wisconsin University inaugurates simulation nursing laboratory. That's very good. Enhanced measures to ensure credible BEC. I don't know how many times we have to speak on this particular issue concerning BEC or exams at all when it comes to the WAEC examination governing body. BOST takes delivery of 5,400 pipes for expansion, and Newmont Foundation completes 127 projects in Ahafo region. And a little on sports. President donates 1 million Ghana cedis to Hearts. Yes, President donates 1 million Ghana cedis to Heart and the LOC to launch African Games sub-committees tomorrow. So while he's donating this money, I'm praying that there is some also somewhere in the purse for the ladies team, especially Hazakes as well. So that will be my wrap up for the Daily Graphic.
Well, quickly through the Daily Statesman, those against the 2022 budget must repent. Those against the 2022 budget must repent. Kweku Kwatin warns of dire consequences if not approved. 2020 budget answers job issues for youth information. I believe it's 2022. 2022 budget answers jobs issue for youth. Information Minister is speaking. And Huawei and Rebecca Foundation take fintech training to rural areas. KGL, we are poised to give government over 100 million annually. And 7 envoys present credentials to President Akufo-Addo is also here. Hassan Ayariga urges Ghanaians to pay taxes for development. Hassan Ayariga urges Ghanaians to pay taxes for development. Okay, so the budget statement is still here. And in sports, Ghana striker Bernard Tekpete suffers injury in Ludogorets' defeat to CSK in 1948. Andy Murray and Emma Raducanu to play in Mubadala World Tennis Championship. And China says tennis star case maliciously hyped up. Okay, so quickly, that is it for the Daily Statesman. Grab a copy and enjoy yourself.
Okay, so I have in my hand the new Crusading Guide, but before we do that, we just want to go for a quick commercial break. We will be right back. It is a quick one. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
Yeah, CB will make up now. I'm not correct. What's your best, Mankasa? That's it. You want oh, middle. You captures about one for CB men capsules. You see, CB men capsules and America.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You name the dada. And one year packaging I had the pepper.
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any biansan wako do pegi.
Share a painful any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada go ni fie do ye. En ka ho.
Susanna. Ghana man be man tamase.
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750.
Do you know that we have phenomenal influence on our various regulatory bodies? How many of these regulatory bodies do you know within the country? Are you aware you can lodge your complaints if and when you are not satisfied with a product or service? How often do you ask the relevant questions? Whom do you call when things are not rightly done? Connect with me on Regulators on Adoatv as we deliberate on the purpose of these regulatory institutions, their functions, accomplishments, and shortcomings. We ask the back-breaking questions and get the unpolished truth. Be a part of our conversations.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies.
Do you know that we
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 05092 57754 020 9494 258 or visit our marketing decks at Step Work premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
All right, thanks for staying, and we have the next segment for you. Here is the time we get, this time around, we get a chance to discuss issues, topical issues in the country. Already, I am joined in the studios by Galahad Alexander. Galahad Alexander, he speaks for the NDC. Good morning, how are you doing, Alex?
Good morning, sir. How are you? I'm fine.
Okay. What I normally do is try to find out how your constituency is doing. How your constituency is doing?
Yeah, you know, my constituency is being governed as in the legislature by Honorable Atoforson, Doctor, the ranking member for the Finance Committee of Parliament. Yeah. And as you know, he has been a very strong guy as far as that area is concerned. And in terms of development, he's one of the best in the central region. And so The only problem we have now is the hardship is overdose in Ghana. So we are also affected by the hardships in the country. And so the demands coming on to us is becoming too big, and it's quite unbearable.
Interesting. There are specific things that I try to always find out about constituencies. This year is still a year of roads. Are you seeing road constructions in your constituency?
I think that, you know, I'm laughing, but I am not trying to laugh at the question you posed.
No. I mean, go ahead.
It's unfortunate that during Mohammed's era, there were a lot of roads being constructed in our constituency.
Okay.
I can mention many of them. And when Nana Akufo-Addo took over from Mahama, all these roads have been stopped. Okay. None of them is going on. So we cannot even talk about new ones being added on. But the fact that even the old ones being constructed have been stopped. And you know how roads, construction of roads, poses problem to people, especially when they are not done within the shortest possible time. Because when you want to expand an economy and you think that road construction is not part, then you may be swaying away from the realities of management of the economy. And so we are highly handicapped. The coming of Nana Akufo-Addo has caused a lot of harm to us as a constituency, as far as road construction is concerned.
So if you come, if you move through the city of Accra currently, you find out that some places are, in fact, road construction is going on in some parts of Accra, not every part, some parts of Accra. If you go to, let's say, Kumasi, you see, day in, day out, we see pictures coming in from different areas of the country. We can also say for a fact that other areas are still also crying for their roads to be done. So, as far as your constituency is concerned, you have not experienced any of these?
I can tell you on authority that we have not even had, let's say, 0.01 kilometer of road tarred in our area since Nana Akufo-Addo took over. And even the existing ones that were being constructed, they have left it completely.
All right, interesting. Now, what about another issue that we must...
But I would like to speak to the fact that some roads are being constructed in other areas and we are not actually getting our part. In fact, it is not true. Even when you say that some roads are being constructed under Akufo-Addo, it can never be equivalent to what they were experiencing under Mahama. Because
that is not true. If we say, it is a fact that roads are being constructed. That is a fact. As to how
the quantum.
Exactly. That is a different argument that you can make. But whether we like it or not, we are seeing roads being constructed. We cannot say there are no roads being constructed. Whilst we are seeing 2 or so weeks ago, my roads here, just in front of our studio, were being constructed. So at least we have seen something being done. Now, so the quantum can be a different argument on a different day. We can discuss that. And what about the issue of water and sanitation in your constituency?
Yeah, as far as water is concerned, I would say that there was a program from the World Bank.
Okay.
And it was started in the NDC time. And I think those who were awarded a contract because of their financial capacity have been able to complete that one.
Complete the contract, okay.
So we are enjoying 1 or 2, but that particular project was facilitated by the NDC, and they were not able to complete. And so the contractor has been on site till it was completed because of the financial capacity, I think, of the World Bank.
Okay.
If it were financed by the government of Ghana, it would have been a different story altogether. Just like I'm telling you in relation to that of the roads. You see that because the government is finding it very difficult to prioritize certain thematic areas in the management of the economy, it's not getting enough money to be able to finance our own local projects. So whenever the World Bank comes in, you are an authority to do it. Other than that, you may be...
You don't get those...
you will not get the benefit from them. So I can say that for water, President Mahama initiated a project that has been completed by this administration, though the contractor never left site.
Okay.
Because of the financial capacity of, the source of funding of the project.
Understood. And the sanitation issues, it has been one of the biggest issues we have been complaining about in the country.
Let me say. I am shocked at how they use that sanitation levy for, because it's like the sanitation problem is exceedingly bad in my area. in the sense that even those who are particularly in charge of that area of governance, I mean, Zoomline and those people, because they have a lot of arrears in payment, they are not, let me say, motivated enough to work the way they're supposed to work. So, in terms of sanitation, as you can see in Accra, it's just like it is in our constituency too.
Okay.
And so sanitation is extremely bad. I can mark the government maybe 0.1/100 or something. Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. I must be frank.
Okay.
The people are not motivated and they are not doing it. You see dust, you see refuse everywhere. Wow. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Okay.
I see things the way they are. If they are better, whenever.
That is not a problem at all. So, I mean, these are some of the things that I try to find out from specific constituencies, just so that we're able to gauge the level of development and the problems we have, and also highlight them whilst we have our conversations. Is there any other peculiar problems you face in your constituency that needs to be attended to? That
you see, your ability to get disposable income to be able to contain yourself in a particular economy is when you have a job. You see, job is an across-board type of canker eating up the fabric of our Ghanaian society. And so if it is tackled properly, I think it will go a very long way to also even improve taxation. Because once the person gets income, of course, you have the capacity financially to be able to pay the taxes. But let me say that unemployment is a big problem in my area. I must be frank, because the private sector is not able to contain as many as it can because of the high taxes they are paying. And because people don't have enough money of late, they don't patronize their product and their goods. And once you don't get the profit, you cannot expand to employ.
Of course.
It's a very big problem that if you look at even the recent budget that was read, we are going to get revenue of about 1.5 billion Ghana cedis, tax and non-tax revenues. Our oil, our gold, our everything, together with the taxes alone is going to be around 80 billion, thereabout. And the borrowing is about 37 billion, so only all about 137 billion. So if in the budget, the President of the Republic, or maybe the Finance Minister or Dr. Ba, maybe the head of the Economic Management team, decides that I'm going to use only 1 billion for youth empowerment, it's meager. It means that we are not so much concerned about the youth unemployment in the country. And I don't know, from the way things are going, I think Ghanaians, those who don't speak, or those who have not spoken before, should start talking. Other than that, by the time we realize, or Akufo-Addo finishes with us, the economy will be in a total ditch that nobody can recover it. So unemployment is a very big problem in my area.
Okay.
The youth are suffering. Even members of their own party are really suffering. They come to my MP all the time to ask for assistance. In fact, I happen to be very close with the member of parliament. And so the kind of requests that are coming to him, if you compare it with the other regimes, even about 2-3 years ago, you can see that the quantum of requests coming is exceedingly high. And it is becoming unbearable on their part. If you don't take time as your MP and you are not actually having a goodwill before, this particular economy will ditch you. But some of the strong MPs like the Honorable Adoatv and Co, I don't think some of these things will, because they have already performed. But those who have not been able to perform in terms of infrastructure, if anybody asks you anything and you fail to give, it means that you are not actually helpful. But it is because the economy has been so bad. How can you be in an economy that uses about 37 billion to pay only interest rate in a year, as projected by Ken Ofurata? You take revenue, total revenue of about 80 billion, you use 37 billion projected for only interest payment without even amortization, I mean principal. It's unfortunate. It means that if you add on even the projections they have made, 7 billion for principal, 37 billion for interest rate alone, you use 26 billion for statutory payment, then you use 35 billion for compensation and salaries alone. It means that even the total revenue of 1.5 billion is being overrun by about 2 billion. So the rest of the discretionary expenditure
And in terms of infrastructure development that we have to go and borrow before we can do all those things. So the economy is in a total mess that some of us do not understand what is happening. It's like Dr. Bamia was a bit, hyperbolic with how he was trying to tout himself as a good economist and all that. I'm shocked at the way things are going, honestly speaking.
That is from my friend's constituency. Things are not looking very interesting. Things are not looking very, very interesting at all, according to him. Water and sanitation. Water good. Sanitation needs to be fixed. You have light, constant electricity?
Yeah, for the light, it's the same everywhere.
Okay.
We are lucky to have gotten about 47 communities connected to electricity by the president then, Mahama, and Atamars, the two of them together connected electricity to about 47 communities. But as we speak, when Nana Akufo-Addo took over, recently, Honorable Peter Amewu said that electricity coverage has been increased by 1% from what they inherited in 2017. But I would say that not even a single community in my area has been connected to the national grid since Akufo-Addo took over. But in terms of stability of power, I would say that it fluctuates.
Okay.
It fluctuates. And we have been with it for a long time, and I think we can manage with it as of now.
Okay, all right. So that's it from... well, I beg us to always highlight issues like this from different constituencies.
Yes.
It also helps us see how, developmental issues, projects are ongoing in some of these constituencies. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. Now, because you mentioned the budget, you brought in the economy, taxes and all that. This morning, the finance minister, the Daily Graphic was reporting that the finance minister is asking all of us to embrace the tax measures so that we are able to raise enough to develop our country. Embrace the tax measures so that we're able to raise enough to develop our country. I don't know whether you agree with him or...
it is only a lazy and a corrupt regime that would think that always imposing taxes on the people is the right way to get revenues to manage the economy. There are other ways that you can actually do it.
I understand that.
This government is not doing
that. I understand that. Okay, you go ahead. I'll come back.
You see, management of the economy, the fiscal side of it, not the monetary side, which is being governed by the Bank of Ghana. But the finance ministry deals with the fiscal policies, revenue and expenditure. Whenever you see that the economy is not doing well, now that everybody is aware that we have been tactically or maybe technically moved from the middle income status to HIPIC, highly indebted poor country. I think recently there was a report from the World Bank that seeks to say that technically because of our debt to GDP level, we have crossed the threshold and that we are part of the highly indebted poor countries. And I think Nana Akufo-Addo actually migrated us onto this particular area. Now, it is true that we can no longer be very attractive to the investors in terms of lending us money. And so we have to get a lot of funds from our own place. But I think the expenditure of government will have to be regulated. Other than that, if you say we should embrace the taxes, can you pinpoint what you have used, the numerous revenues you collected before? It is not that you have not collected any revenue since you took over. You've collected about 221 billion Ghana cedis as total revenue collected as at I think September 2021. You've also taken about 222 billion Ghana cedis as loan. So in all, we are talking about 450 billion revenues and loans collected. Whenever you ask them how they have used that money, they will tell you free SHS. But I'm telling you that if you look at their budget over the years and you compare, maybe from year 1 up to the year 4 or 5, they haven't spent more than 6 billion on the free SHS. So if you have collected about 455 billion and after cutting short for certain thematic projects, you have not done a single one, like the hospital and the Agenda 88 and other things, you cannot come and tell us that whenever you bring taxes, we should embrace it. Because not all taxes can be paid. You, the government, you are poor. You have been migrated onto HIPIC and that you are poor. As soon as you know that you are poor, it means the people in your country are also poor.
Yeah.
And so if you go on not trying to actually regulate your expenditure, but adding on taxes, then it means that you don't care what happens to us. And so we cannot embrace this type of tax that they are bringing, especially in relation to the 15% increase in all government fees and charges. In the midst of increases in petroleum products in this country, where a gallon of petrol is costing us around 33 Ghana from 14 Ghana cedis that Mahama left, you cannot add on some of these increase in charges. So you go to the mortuary, maybe your relative dies, that particular mortuary charge is going to be increased by 15%. You go to DVLA, your lances is going to be increased by 15%. You go to NCA, you want a lances for your media work, and that is also going to cost you 15% increment. And it is going to be juxtaposed with the rate of inflation, according to the finance minister. Yeah. So it means that when the rate of inflation increases, now that is 11%, when it goes up, the increment in those fees and charges are also going to be affected. So I think the finance minister should come clear, because you cannot be using money here and there to buy certain things that are not necessary as far as the condition we are in is concerned. Now, let us take, for instance.
Before that, let me quickly take a quick turn so that our brother can join us and then we can continue the conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Stepwork premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Yeah, CB women capsules now. I'm not correct. What's your best mankasa? That's it. Who anyone? Oh, middle. You capsules back on CB men capsules. Me see CB men capsules na make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You name the dada. And one year packaging I in the fefe.
Wow, what a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any bianza no akodo mpegi.
Share painful. Any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada won di fie do ye. Enka ho.
Susanna. Ghana man man tamwase.
Adoatv 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA aje edwede nkato yato.
Wow, thank you very much for staying and welcome back. We have been joined in the studios by another brother who is joining us for the conversation. He speaks for the NPP and he's in the person of Mr. Lawrence Kwesi Entry. Mr. Lawrence Kwesi Entry is also known as Abiola. So if you're wondering who is here, Mr. Lawrence has joined us. Good morning, boss. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine, and you?
Yeah, you're doing
you're looking
very
great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're looking good as well. I believe you are doing well, and your constituency is also doing very well.
Oh, by the grace of God.
Which constituency are you coming?
Abrikma Central, to be precise.
Okay, and can you brief me a little about what's going on in your constituency? I understand There are roads being constructed in areas in Accra. Are you experiencing same? Do you have issues with water, sanitation, lights, electricity, and all that?
Oh, well, thank you very much. First of all, let me send my warm regards to our viewers. Of course, they are our major stakeholders in this program, and we appreciate their efforts. Also, let me salute His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa and His able Lieutenant Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, wherever they are, seeking for God's blessings and protection for them. And then my regards to my colleague in the studios. Today happens to be the first day meeting him on a platform. You know, I've never met him in any other platform. So let me say, welcome, Amos.
Thank you.
Anyway, then the good people of Abrikuma Central also, I send my regards to them, and then the party leadership right away from the national to the polling station and all party faithfuls of NPP. Yes, Abrikuma Central, I can say in authority that it's calm, it is moving on. All developmental agenda by this government is being prosecuted genuinely by the Honorable MC of the municipal. That is Honorable Mariama Kali Amwin. Is doing well to ensure that the good people of Abrikuma Central live in harmony, in peace, and have the national cake, their fair share of it.
Okay.
If I want to extend it, I may say that what is the national cake are we talking about? Recently we heard the government announcing a policy, Agenda 111, you know, that is hospitals for municipals that are not gotten any hospital facility, which Abrikuma Central is one of them. We are surrounded by 2 or 3 government hospitals, but as a municipal, we don't have it. And luckily enough, we'll be able to start something to have our own hospital in Abrikuma Central.
Okay.
With the project, I can say, technically, it's about almost 58% completion, you know, and it's being led by the Honorable MC Maria Makali. When it comes to energy stability, that is power. Whoever is watching me from Abrikuma Central can attest to the fact that the so-called Dunso is a thing of the past. Yes, we admit that maintenance outages will certainly be recorded, but not like those days where we'll be having 2 days or a full day or 3 days, 1 week power outages. No. We have stable power. Our road networks also we are on course. Most of our roads have been asphalted. Areas that have never seen asphalt before, a process has started. Construction of drains has started. This construction of drains even started during the time we're having a sitting MP, which is Honorable Zanina Nate regime. Then some of these drainage systems started.
Okay.
And then I can tell you areas where over the years was a road, but was being taken over by residents, that's encroachers, who has been taken over and those roads have been laid through. So obviously you could see that 2 years down the line when Abrikuma Central gained its municipality, things have started changing, and it is very good that the government also came in with this decentralization exercise to bring the government to the doorstep of the ordinary Ghanaians. And Abrikuma Central, we are proud and appreciate what the government did. We are on course.
Okay.
And I can assure you that looking at how the MC is moving towards the government's agenda, I'm hopeful that by close of 2022, most roads that people are complaining about Abrikuma Central, especially Russia and Botry and its environs where we have I can say poor, but road network that has not seen asphalt or any bitumen before is going to witness some of these things. So basically, when it comes to security, the place is calm. People are able to move freely without any fear and panic.
Okay, all right.
We commend all the police commanders. You know, we are surrounded by 5 police commands. But we don't have a single police station. Thankfully enough, this time round we've been able to have a very nice edifice for the police service built in the constituency, led by the director of operation at the presidency, the Dr. Lord Obrite Kome, and then the government. We've been able to have a place and a very nice edifice has been put in place, and very soon I know the IGP will make an arrangement to commission that particular station so that Brikma Central also have its own police station.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving us some highlights from your constituency, that's Brikma Central. We are looking at the finance minister urging Ghanaians, all of us, to embrace the tax measures that is being introduced by the 2022 budget. Brother Alex was on the floor. Alex, I would like you to end there so that I also bring it in. Okay.
Yeah, as far as the budget, which was read by the finance minister was concerned, I can say that Ghanaians have shown some kind of reactions to the kind of measures he wanted to put. And as I was trying to put across, it is not only taxation that gives money or revenues to the state. You have to find a way of trying to regulate your expenditure, as I did say earlier on. And the reason why I'm saying that is that it's like Nana Akufo-Addo and his Baumia are not interested in regulating controlling the expenditure. And so whenever they get the money, you will not see actually what they are using the money for. I am shocked at some of the things my brother is mentioning from his constituency, and I would maybe contact my people there to verify some of the things he's alleging have been done by this government. And let me say that if you look at the taxes, and if you look at 2017, there was a policy that Nana Akufo-Addo brought that we call a Capping and Realignment Act of 2017. That actually saw the statutory payments. I mean, the road fund, the GET fund, the District Assembly Common Fund, and the MP's Common Fund. They were all cut by a certain percentage. You see, some of these monies are used for development in our various localities. So when you cut them, you see that the development in those areas by the municipals and the district assemblies will not go on. And it is clear that things are not moving on well as far as district level developments are concerned. Now, in this budget, what he sought to do is to also trying to remove the property rate collection duty from the district assemblies to the central government. When we say property rate, everybody understands it at that level. Now, you are not paying the common funds, which are for the development. It's in arrears for about 5 quarters. It was only 3 days ago that the MP decided not to sit down for the budget to be read, that they went and borrowed money from the Access Bank to come and pay 2 quarters. Even that one, it has not gotten on into the accounts. And so for about a year that you collected taxes and non-tax revenues vis-a-vis the borrowings you have made in the same regime, you have not been able to pay statutory payment. And you know, some of these things in economics and finance, they call it rigidities. You have no control over, because you are enjoined by law to pay them. If you refuse to do that, and you actually pay salaries of workers at the Flagstaff bars and others, how do you want those of us at the base to also benefit from the development that is supposed to be done by government? And so I think we need to align all the revenues they have collected of the things they have done to know whether the ones they did collect have been used properly. Because if you collect about 221 billion revenues and about 223 billion loans, it's about 450, as I said. You cannot use only 6 billion for free SHS and come and tell us that 2 million people have been done this. 2 million. What are you talking about?
Okay.
It's unfortunate. Okay. And so, to me, I know I'll come back. Yeah. To me, that property rate, because the people of Ghana do not trust Nana Akufo-Addo anymore. They don't trust him. And so, do your collections at where you are collecting them. Allow the district assemblies to collect their monies to be able to, raise their IGF levels to be able to finance certain, mini projects at their base. Okay. That is what I'm trying to say.
Let me bring in Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence, what do you think about the finance minister said?
Thank you very much, my brother. I think the call by the finance minister is in order.
Okay.
Because he is at the policy-making department or office. And when policies are being made, they are being made for Ghanaians, and we are not practicing autocracy. Ghanaians now bought into the idea of democracy that His Excellency Nana Addo fought for, and we are practicing democracy. So it is important that multi-party democracy, people's participation is being sorted to ensure that collectively we have agreed and everybody hands on desk to ensure that the nation moves forward. So it is not a sanction to be imposed on the good people of this country, but it's an appeal to Ghanaians that indeed we have gotten to where there is the need for we to widen our task net to ensure that the development we are all seeking for come to fruition. And that is what exactly the humble financial minister is doing. It's not that. They could have said that we are in government. And so, therefore, we have brought the taxes. If you fail to pay, there will be enforcement. And that is not what we are seeking to do or the government is seeking to do. We are practicing democracy, not autocracy or cryptocracy, So, if the minister is appealing to Ghanaians, I think he has been fair, he has respected Ghanaians, and there is a need for Ghanaians also to listen to him. I think the appeal comes with an explanation, and therefore we have to look at it critically, holistically, and see whether he's making sense or not, okay? Now, let me say this. It is important we accept and admit that Ghana has a deficit in a lot of infrastructure and at various sectors of the economy, there are a lot of deficits. Yeah. We must admit. And there's the need for we to level ourselves and get it fixed. Well, I believe, and maybe somebody will refer, that Nana Addo Akufo-Addo and maybe Dr. Baumia is saying that we cannot depend on taxation and that. Yes, it is true, but let me tell you, it is industrialization that can take over the taxation, okay, but not even to 0%, obviously. Even elsewhere, European countries where they have developed and have more industries, they still tax their people, and even taxes over there are even more than what we are now trying to bring on board. But what I want us to understand is that you cannot plant a seed today and get it harvested today, unless by magical sense, okay? Even in the scripture, I quite remember it was only one time when the people were chasing Jesus Christ and getting killed when he was born. And they crossed a particular farm when the man was weeding at that time. Okay? Started weeding that time. That was the first miracle by Jesus Christ. The Christians will tell you. When the people were chasing this, Mary and Joseph to find out where Jesus Christ is, when the chief asked his entourage to do so, the moment they passed through a farm, when the man started weeding, then when the people got there, the farm that the man started weeding has grew up a maze, grown to a height that you marvel. And therefore, the people ask, haven't you seen any child, a newborn baby with the parents passing? So, oh, yes, they passed. At the time they were passing, I thought that time I have started weeding this farm. And look at the time, how the maize has grown. That was just a period of maybe 3 to 5 minutes. You see the miracle of God. So the people say, hey, the man started weeding when they were passing. And now, see where the crops has grown to. Then these people, they have gone far. Let's leave them. Unless that miracle happens. Are you getting me? What I'm trying to establish is that you bring industrialization. The benefit of the industrialization to take over so much taxes will come after years. Probably 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, depending how the industries will grow. And exactly what Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo has started. If 8 years given to NDC, if NDC has started industrializing this country like Nanadu is doing, we would have been harvesting out of the industry that they put in place, so that the taxes that we are experiencing today, maybe quarter or half of it may be coming from the industry that they put in place. Not a single factory was produced under Don Dramani Mahama NDC administration for 8 years.
You mentioned that, of course, and it's obvious that it is not just only taxes that can help develop any nation. Why are we not exploring all the other options? But
That's
rather,
what I'm telling you.
In the last few years, we have been speaking about taxes.
Let me say that what option do we want to exploit? The other option that can take over some of these taxes is having more industries in Ghana operating, so that your export commodities can bring you foreign exchanges. Hope you're getting me. We have depended on our traditional resources for years, but as the population grows, you ask yourself, what do we do to expand our income or revenue generation? So this government says, yes, we have to add value to our local products than exporting them raw. And we can only do that by putting up industries. You can only do that by putting in more resources into agriculture sector for we to get the raw materials in quantities that is needed to feed the industries. And that's exactly, you will bear witness with me, that one district, one factory is ongoing everywhere in this country. It's a fact. My brother
it's ongoing, but not everywhere in this country.
I'm saying it's ongoing.
Do you have some in your constituency?
I have never set my eyes on any factory being built in my constituency.
So it's ongoing, but not everywhere in the country.
I'm saying it's ongoing everywhere. What I'm saying ongoing everywhere, that means that every region, as I speak today, has experienced one or two in their districts. If NDC has started by that time, wouldn't have been where we are now, would have continued. What I'm saying is that when the industry become more, for we to add value to our raw materials, it will bring us more foreign exchange. And therefore, some of these taxes could be taken off.
But then again, I understood perfectly explanation. Yes. But at the end of the day, the very people you are seeking to make their lives better are more like crying now, because now they can't bear it. The taxes are so much. Now you are asking us to embrace it. Understood. This is a way to development. This is a way to fix some of our issues in our country. But now it's quite overburdening. We can't pay it. What do we do?
Okay. Very well. Thank you very much. You know something? You can't tell me. You see, you can't tell me that you have nothing on your table to eat. And therefore, the maize that you are planted looking for a bumper harvest, you go and take it from the ground and get it prepared and eat. Is that possible?
No.
We all have to tighten our belts.
Okay.
But if we are tightening our belts, there should be a reason, okay, and then expectation.
Okay.
Our expectation is that we are building the economy, moving from taxation to industrialization. But before the industrialization will materialize for all of us to be free, we expect some years to get the fruit of the industry. So this time around, let's help to sustain the industry that are coming on board.
Okay.
So obviously, the taxes that are coming, I am not exempted. I am not exempted. No MPP person is exempted. Or every Ghanaian will be affected. But what are we saying? Do we sit down and continue to eat the seed that can give us more multiples of what we're expecting today, and tomorrow the same problem will be there, the next day the same problem will be there, years to come the same problem will be there. It takes a day to make a change, okay?
Yeah.
So this is the time we are coming up with another option to take over so many taxes. So we expect that in the next coming years, okay, 2, 3, 4 years to come, some of the benefits of the industrialization may come in, and some of these taxes will come down.
Okay.
That is why the Honorable Minister, respectfully appealing to Ghanaians that there is a need for we at least consider this, and it shall be hot over.
Okay. All right. Okay.
That is the more reason why.
You want to respond to a few things?
Yeah.
Let me give you about 2 minutes, and then he also have his 2 minutes. Then we move on to the next topic.
Okay. I would like to respond to what he's saying in respect of the fact that the finance minister may have chosen to be autocratic by just imposing it on Ghanaians without going to parliament and to appeal to them because he is a Democrat. The law does not allow anybody to impose a tax without going to parliament. And Article 174 of the 1992 Constitution. So that was a constitutional mandate that he did exercise.
Yes.
And so he did not have any discretion as to how to do it in the first place. In fact, he has said something in relation to the movement of taxation to industrialization.
Yeah.
You've taken a lot of loans in this country since you took over. Are you now telling me that all the monies you took, about 450 billion, were not used for industrialization to the extent that at this time you have to heighten and increase the taxes?
He mentioned the one district, one factory.
But he did not mention even 3 industries in the country that have been started and built and completed by Nana Akufo-Addo.
Give the opportunity.
So please, when you were talking,
I'm only chipping that if
no, you don't have to chip in.
Okay, when I get my time, I'll respond to that. So sorry, go ahead.
If anybody tells you that the taxes we are going to take from the people are solely going to be used for infrastructure or industrialization development, that person is a liar. Because as I did indicate, and I want to emphasize, that 105 billion revenues that we are going to collect is not even enough for interest rate payment, amortization, statutory payment, and that of compensation or salaries. We need to even borrow 2 billion to be able to take care of this legal type of expenditures before you go in for that industrialization. So we are going to borrow additional 37 billion before we can even go into development, as he's saying. Now, if you look at the budget, out of the 137 billion budget allocation that the minister is seeking for approval for, it's only 16 billion that is earmarked for capital expenditure. So over 100 and something million is going for some other things that are not properly relevant. And let me say, even the target they have set, they cannot achieve it because most of the revenue handlers, like the Get Fund, like the ESLA, like maybe the cocoa revenues that we get, all of them have been collateralized. We have used that one for loans, and whenever money enters that particular account, they are going to be used to pay the debt on them. In law, they are encumbered, let me say. So Get Fund, for instance, if you get any amount of money in that coffers, you are going to use about 60% to pay a loan that Nana Akufo-Addo took for 10 years for Get Fund. Now, if you look at ESLA, you remember the ESLA bond. That one too is encumbered. And therefore, we cannot get the full-fledged of revenues that we are entitled to. And so the target is over, I think it's a bit over ambitious. They cannot get it. They are also not going to use the chunk of the monies to develop the country as in capital expenditure, because it's only 16 billion out of the 137 billion that are going to be used for infrastructure or capital expenditure. Let me tell my man that some of the taxes are not necessary. Now, if you look at the Momo tax that they say they are bringing, upfront, you are going to pay 1.75 on every transaction you make. The one you are sending the money to is also going to pay another 1.75 if he or she intends to withdraw the amount. Is that not it? So it's upfront and back end. That is unfortunate. So the same money is going to face upfront and back-end deductions to tax. And that is quite dangerous. You are here. Let us assume that your wife is at home. You don't normally go there. You send your wife 120 Ghana for some foodstuffs in the house. That is it's a chop money. And so if the government that actually praised itself that they are not going to tax as the NDC was taxing, they were going to move from taxation to production, they were not going to borrow and that, they are not taxing chop monies. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And my biggest problem.
Can you end with that for me so that we can move on?
Okay, I'm ending. My biggest problem is that the MPP government will have to swallow their pride. I think they have to bring in more economists who are practical. You see, Dr. Bamia may be a true and poor economist, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
Because the way he allows the economy to be run or to be governed to the extent that we are in HIPIC now, I don't think Dr. Bamia should be praised in this country.
Okay.
In any case, the fact that Dr. Bamia, after messing up the economy, migrating us onto HIPIC, and the fact that we are even borrowing additional 37 billion after projecting to defray our interest rate with the same 37 billion with amortization 7 billion, the economy is totally down. In fact, it's in a ditch.
Okay.
And for him to say that he wants to even contest presidency, it's a complete disrespect to the nation.
He has not said that.
No, it must not even happen.
But he hasn't
if
said
there's
that.
Anybody to say that they want to become president in Ghana, to the best of my knowledge, it must not be Dr. Bamia.
But he hasn't said that.
He hasn't said that, but he should not even say it.
But he hasn't said he's going to say it.
Okay, well. Okay.
So
he has the option to become a president or not, or to contest.
As far as we are concerned, the last time he was asked this same question on another channel, he said he has a boss now. His boss has given him work to do, and that is exactly what he's doing. He hasn't. So I think
let me put it this way. Let me put it this way.
We attribute it
if and he's a Ghanaian, he's entitled to contest any election that he qualifies. He can do that, but it's an advice from the way he has joined Nana Akufo-Addo and being the head of the economic management team and the kind of bragging and arrogance in respect of the management of the economy that he did and the kind of messy economy we are witnessing now. If he has any intention of trying to become a flag bearer, it will be a complete disrespect to us as Ghanaians because he has nothing new to offer. But most people voted for Nana Akufo-Addo because Dr. Bamia showed some kind of theoretical credentials in the management of the economy. And now that everything is clear, that we are being overtaxed, that we have been migrated onto HIPIC, that the economy of Ghana is just relying on loans, and that we are not credit worthy, and that the World Bank is cautioning us not to borrow. Dr. Bamia should keep quiet and never come near the presidency because he has already messed the economy up.
All right, okay. Just you respond and we go back to the next topic.
It's laughable. And I think let me clear this point. Ghana is not into HIPIC. It must be on record.
Technically.
What technical are you talking about?
Ghana
is not an HIPIC as we speak.
What you saw from the web.
So they should stop making throw dust into the good people on the eyes of these people. You know? What is laughable is that I don't know why NDC is afraid of Dr. Bamia.
Why are you saying they're afraid? Are they afraid of him?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know. For some time now, they have started criticizing the vice president any little platform they will get. Instead of addressing the issues concerned, they sought to criticizing Dr. Bamia because they are afraid of him. Why? Genuinely, we have had a number of vice presidents in this country. And as he sits here, not a single day or not a single individual or a group of people, for 5 years now, Dr. Bamia become the vice president, has raised any allegation of corruption against the man. Clearly, nobody, no group of people has raised level of corruption allegation against Dr. Bawumia. As it used to be, when somebody was a vice president, was a head of the economic management team, was asked to do a certain work for the president. It turned out to be that the president was not convinced and certified by his work. So a committee was formed by the president to investigate the vice president on corruption, which is John Dramani Mahama, when he was a vice president to the late Professor Mills, where he even got the guts to come and say some time ago that he was the one running the whole affairs of John Mahama administration. He was corrupt as a vice president, and the head of economic management team, he was corrupt for a whole committee to be set to investigate him, and the committee was paid by the state. Now, the person had opportunity to become a president, and he came to mess up the economy to the extent that he was able to tell Ghanaians that he and his apparatus have been able to consume the economy, the flesh of the economy, to the bone. Now, he wants to come back again, thinking that Ghanaians have short memory, as he said, and they see Dr. Bawumia as potentially good, a man who has shown good leadership and has been able to help his boss to transform this economy from where it was suffering to the extent that public sector workers was being rationalized. At the end of the month, they were not able to pay all of them. They are able to transform the economy from where we had a slogan that has been adopted globally. Even in the Oxford Dictionary, it's now within it. Born by John Dramani Mahama, doing so. Today, we have a vice president who has been able, who has supported and has respected his boss to today. Transform the economy, moving from taxation to industrialization. This is a leader we expect to help the economy. Knowing that Dr. Bawumia is a threat to the ambition of the corrupt Mahama, they have sought to attack the man on every platform. Little they don't know that they are making the man more popular than they seek to do. It is clear and obvious that Dr. Bawumia, there is no match in NDC. Nobody in NDC can match Dr. Bawumia. His performances are accepted globally, and Ghanaians, both religious body, Christians, Muslims, everybody, sees what the gentleman, the young man is doing. Okay. So okay. It is better.
All right.
They appreciate his effort than attacking him.
Okay.
I am saying that the Ghana economy as it stands now has a future. And it is being prepared by this current administration for we to see better governance than what we saw during some time when Ghanaians were crying and unemployment became a threat in this country. For a president to tell Ghanaian you that he was not a magician to create jobs.
All right, kindly end there for me. So that
and the same man, do you recall that during the time John Dramani Mahama was a vice president to Professor Mills, he publicly said that he got to a time he was finding it very difficult to see his own boss, Mills, to discuss matters with him. Today, we have a vice president who shares ideas with his boss every second, every minute, and they are moving one direction.
Okay, okay.
And that's the beauty they have never experienced in their party before. Therefore, they want to attack Dr. Bawumia.
All right.
It's better they stop it because they are rather hyping.
Thank you very much for that. And that is it for the Minister of Finance asking Ghanaians to embrace the tax measures. It's going to It's still in the debate level at Parliament, and we are going to, over the coming days, see what Parliament makes of it, whether taxes like the e-levy that a lot of Ghanaians have actually expressed displeasure over would see the day of light. There is also the toll booth abolition, and among many others, we are going to see how, after the debate in Parliament, these taxes are going to be introduced as is approved or not. Now, on the other hand, the government has also said that it is going to build constituency offices or MPs offices in their constituencies. This has also been met with some kind of reactions, and we are going to see how feasible this is, how best this can also help in the development agenda that the government has as far as they are concerned. Why are they even trying to construct constituency offices or MPs constituency offices in these constituencies? Is this an attempt to bring closer the MPs to their constituencies? Because over the past few years, we have heard complaints from different constituencies. Our MP, we don't even see him. Our MP, we don't even see her. And all, I mean, is it an attempt to bridge this gap and all that? So let me start with you, Mr. The name is Galahad, right?
Galahad, yeah.
Galahad. What do you think? Building, or for instance, I mean, getting a constituency office for Atoforsen doctor in your constituency. What do you think is a brilliant idea by the government, so that perhaps Mr. Atoforsen can now spend more, Dr. Atoforsen can now spend more time in the constituency? I mean, get abreast with what is happening, because over the past few years, we have also had discussions where people complain that these MPs, even though they represent their constituencies, are sometimes far removed from the daily activities of the constituency.
Okay, thank you very much once again. And before I go to that, just give me 10 seconds to deal with a particular matter.
It will be part of your time. It will be part of your time. So,
if we are to compare the two vice presidents, as far as the constitution is concerned, whenever a vice president is elected through the election of the president, they are put in charge of the economy. As I'm talking now, in 2020, the economy grew the lowest under Dr. Bawumia, 0.4%.
Okay.
In the Mohammed's era, the largest growth, GDP growth of this country was under Mahama, 14% in between 2010 and 2011, if he doesn't know.
Okay.
Currently, the debt to GDP under Mahama was 56%. Now it is 77%. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that I am not against Dr. Bawumia. He said a lot that some of us, even in the NDC, nearly believed him.
Okay.
But it's like what he's doing now and the kind of economy he's living for us in 2025 is exceedingly bad.
Okay, thank you.
And so if somebody like that is putting himself up for an election,
he has
let me say, hypothetically.
But why
no,
more like you are thinking?
Because I've seen a lot of posters across the country.
That is people. That is not.
Yeah, so I'm also being hypothetical.
Okay, go ahead.
If he has that interest, he has to quit it, because he can't do anything different.
Okay,
after being put in charge in the economy and messing up the economy this way. That is what I'm trying to say.
I believe Dr. Bawumia has heard this sound advice.
Yeah, good. And as far as what you said was concerned, let me say that I have been an assembly member before.
Okay.
A two-timer assembly member for my electoral area at Bantama in the Jumakwa NSM constituency.
Okay.
And so
there's Bantama there. Eh?
Yeah, there's Bantama there. It's called Udumasi Bantama electoral area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I have been a zonal council chairman before, so I am a local man.
Yeah.
It's a good idea, but as far as the timing is concerned, it's unnecessary.
Okay.
We have actually given them money to rent a house amidst the difficulties we are in. Nana Akufo-Addo is telling us that things are difficult, and so we have to be paying a lot of taxes. I don't think it is a priority to build an office for the MPs. I don't know whether he's trying to hoodwink the MPs into approving his budget, because the member of parliament is a member of the assembly, only that he does not have a voting right. And so we have a district assembly, a bigger one. The MPs do not stay there permanently.
They have offices in Accra. They have their accommodations in Accra. They have where they work is in Accra. And so what you can do is to tell the various assemblies to have a chamber or an apartment in the provide a space in the assembly building to cater for them. At this time that we are getting troubled with our expenditure and revenues. Let me say that if you are to take revenues of about 1.5 billion, you borrow about 37 billion. Instead of you to spend it on improving the rate of employment in the country, you have only allocated 1 billion Ghana cedis to employment of the youth. But you want to use a huge amount of money to build offices in this country, about 275 offices. It will cost a lot. Now that we don't want to even pay the tax they are trying to impose, because look at these benchmark values that they say they are reintroducing, and therefore the discount is going to be out. That is going to increase our imported commodities about 25-30%. So the hardship is going to be great. So whenever you get the monies, I think they will have to be put into other proper expenditure. Now that you are not able to pay the District Assembly Common Fund, why must you be interested in getting additional expenditure at the various assemblies?
Don't you think that this may also be as a result of I don't want to say complaints, but perhaps this has been expressed by these same MPs to perhaps the president, that, you know what, in order for us to maybe get closer to our constituency, we need such spaces in our constituency. You mentioned the assembly, the district assemblies, perfect, but is it not going to be another cost, providing, because you go to the district assembly right now and then it is full, whether we like it or not. So perhaps providing separate offices for the MPs in there would be another problem. So perhaps then get them a permanent office.
If they say that a new department has been created by the local government and that the assemblies will have to fetch or search for a space for them, they will get it without necessarily going to put up a burden. And you know, the MP is not even going to stay there. It's the special assistant or the research officer who may be in that office all the time to be taking requests, applications, and send it to the MP for the MP to take care of. Or sometimes the MP will intermittently meet the constituents there. So just a half of this space may do. And so it doesn't need. No, it is not that it is not important, but we will have to postpone it for now, because we have a lot of things on our neck that we have to take care of. If you borrow for your own capital expenditure, some of these expenditures must be left out. And that is why when Nana Akufo-Addo, when he was told not to hire a private jet when we have one, and he decided not to adhere or heed to what we said, everybody is angry now. And that is why people are being a bit spontaneous with the kind of taxes he's trying to bring across. They are reacting in a way that shows that they are indeed fed up with the administration of Nana Akufo-Addo. How he tries to make profligate spending amidst hardship, and he will tell us, pay. When he was talking, he made mention of the fact that we have to tighten our seatbelt. I think he should first tell the president to tighten his belt well, because you cannot send our jet or maybe our presidential aeroplane to Liberia president and another West African president who are also president like yourself, for you to hire expensive and luxury type of jets and be moving around the world in search of loans and loan forgiveness. You are in need of somebody's loan, but you are hiring a private jet that is costing us $14,000 per hour, and $1,000 is around 6,000 Ghana cedis, and 14,000, and yes, more money. It is not easy, and so that is why I'm talking about our expenditure control. We have to talk about that as a media. We don't have to say, oh, they should pay. We are going to use it for development. I've told you that only 16 billion will go into development. All the rest are going to be used to pay interest rate and other rigidities I'm talking about. So the government will have to control the expenditure by postponing some of these things we are talking about in respect of the MPs.
Okay.
They are these things.
Right.
Then again.
Lastly on that, so that I'll bring
expenditure like the drones that Dr. Bamia did spearhead. How we don't have medicines in our various hospitals already. People are actually in suffering and all that. But you have the boldness to enter into a contract of $12 million. This is a complete waste. A wasted expenditure.
Is it the zip line?
The drones.
Is it that zip line?
The zip line contract. Yeah,
that is working.
Good. I have never seen any drone anywhere going anywhere.
Because your constituency doesn't need it. The drones are in areas that transportation is a little bit difficult. I mean,
then tell Ghanaians.
Because in the eastern region, if you go to where, I mean, the base, they have a base, one base in the eastern region, which transports medical aids to villages where the routes are almost more trouble. It's quite.
And what I'm trying to say is that there would have been a better alternative that wouldn't have cost that $12 million. That is what I'm saying. That many Ghanaians, maybe you are the only one who has seen. I have never seen anybody who had set his eye on any drone. This man, unless he tries to lie, he has never seen any drone delivering any medicine.
If you are in Accra, you won't see the drones because Accra has routes. Accra has ambulances, plenty of them. I mean,
it is not a shock that where it is working is the president's region.
No, I only cited that. I'm not saying that that's the only place it is. That is where I have seen.
You have seen.
But there are other bases, different areas.
Then once you have not been able to mention the other bases that you are talking about, let us stick to the one you did mention.
Pictures. I've seen pictures of some other place. I'll try and see.
And check it too.
No, of course, on videos for people who visited the places.
Because if you use state funds,
they were taken through. I mean, the activities.
You cannot tell me that burden hospitals across the country, like the 111, that they are not getting money to do it now. The 88 hospital they talked about.
The 101.
You cannot tell me that the drone delivery is far better than burden hospitals and the chief compound at the various areas to make hospital services accessible to the ordinary Ghanaian. You can never tell me that. I don't think so. I don't think that is the position, or that is what you are trying to mean. And you can never tell me that if you go to a Chebi cemetery and you lay tires and put up city lights and you fence it with DMPC funds, that is not a misplaced priority. And so it is clear, if we are to be factual with the government of Ghana and the administration of Nana Akufo-Addo, we need to tell them to regulate the expenditure, to control the expenditure, to match up with the taxes they are trying to take. Other than that, because even now, with the proposal they have sent to Parliament, when you are to send remittances from outside the country to Ghana for the medical care of your grandmother, it's going to be deducted. When you are to send, let's say, salaries of workers through Momo, it's going to be deducted.
Okay.
Bank transfers and other things. All 1.75 deductions to be made. I think they will have to tax the profit of the Momo, the telecos, other than taxing the transactions people make. That is my
all right.
understanding.
Thank you very much, brother. Come in there.
Well, I don't know whether an NDC coming to the studio have their own topic to discuss. I'm really surprised where
he said that. It is necessary. I mean, it's a good thing. It's not a bad idea. But then, government has more pressing issues.
The issue at stake and is. I'm not surprised that he sitting here has not seen the
zip line
working. I'm not surprised because a whole PhD of this and who claims to be a medical practitioner and a woman organizer of NDC said the drone was coming to take the nakedness of women in this country. So if such a person,
there is some of the one in Omenako is the one I'm talking about. That's the Indian. There is some in Wali. The 4th distribution center was actually built quite recently in Wali. There is one in Sefioso. There is another one in the Mampong area. I mean, in the Ashanti region too, there is some. So I think you have to take a tour.
What I'm saying is that the drones were bought at $12 million.
Yes, my time,
and I'm saying that.
Don't worry.
And I'm saying that some of the expenditures will have to be controlled.
Okay,
and
understood.
that it would have been used for other property that would make hospital services accessible to the people.
Okay,
not this one.
I want to ask my brother, what is more expensive than human's life? What is more expensive than human life? If one person loses his life accidentally, do you know how much it costs the state? So if a project has come to stay for Ghanaians for years at a cost of $12 million, as he says, is able to save lives comparatively to those days, people were dying out of snake bite in the northern regions. People were dying because there's no blood. People were dying because the arrival of the medicines were not in place. And compared to today, that we've been able to have a system to save these lives. You said it is expensive, it is needless, you've not seen it, and your whole PhD person says, the doctor of animals says the drones came in purposely to take the nakedness of Ghanaian women in the villages, not for anything. You see, it purely tells you the mindset of these NDC people who are seeking to rule this country again. Obviously not. Ghanaians will never give them the money because they don't even know what they are about. All that they are seeking to do is to get the power and use the power to steal Ghanaians. Yes, let me tell you, the ideology or the philosophy of NDC is autocracy. The party was born out of autocracy. Autocratic government that they experienced since until 1992, when Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and some people in this country fought for democracy, and Ghanaians bought into the democracy till today. In the quest for NDC to learn democracy, because they've realized that democracy has come to stay, and Ghanaians have accepted democracy. So in their quest to learn the democracy, they end up mastering in cryptocracy. So NDC, when you talk about democracy, they don't understand it. That is why they are against strengthening the democracy of this country. As a government, you have responsibility to ensure that you strengthen every sector of the economy. And our legislators, who the member of parliament, are part of the economy, and that sector must be strengthened to ensure that the democracy that we are all enjoying become more sustainable. So I am not surprised that this policy or the proposal by the president has come at the time he is the president, because they fought for democracy in 1992. Other than that, we will be experiencing the same autocratic administration to today. So NDC obviously doesn't seem to know what is democracy, and therefore they don't understand the need to deepen our democracy. My brother, if you know all these members of parliament are product of particular political parties, but the moment you are elected from candidate to become a member of parliament, you lift your game from a political party to a member of the constituency, and you become an asset to both all political parties and those who are not politicians. And therefore, there's the need for you to be assessed. When they use their own money to find their office, because they own allegiance to a particular political party, they display their political colors there. And that one pissed some people off to go there and share thoughts. It's not a matter of somebody going to the MP to look for money, but he has a brilliant idea that person can give to the MP to bring to the floor of parliament for consideration. If somebody sees a particular office being painted with NDC color, MPP colors, the person may feel, no, if I'm going there, it's purely going to be like a partisan matter. We want an office that depicts a state, and that this is clearly an office that is owned by a state person, and therefore can move in at any given point in time. I'm surprised that he says he was a former assembly member for 2 times, and he doesn't know that we have some districts that host about 2 or 3 constituencies together. One district has about 2 constituencies or 3 constituencies together. Is he expecting that if that particular district office is within one particular constituency, all the other constituencies' office should be within that particular district, that constituency. The district assembly should provide those buildings. Is that feasible? Is that possible? You see, sometimes they don't think aloud. They don't look, when policy comes, they only look at it political way. They want to politicize it just for political capital. Instead of thinking deep into the matter and see what would be the benefit of what proposal has been brought on board, they just wake up and then just try to politicize it, and that ends it. And you say, I am surprised. And I'm telling you, I keep on saying, I've said in so many platforms, now that free SHS is out now, when the school-going children, second cycle is able to attain about 80 to 90% as we expect by this year, NDC will never win election in this country again because they play on the intelligence of the illiterates to win an election. NDC play on the intelligence of the illiterates to win an election. So now that Ghanaians...
Why do you say that? NDC they were building schools for...
What school did they build?
They were building...
What school did they build?
The secondary school, the E-blocks they built.
The E-blocks that they said they brought, they said they were going to build 200 and something.
They couldn't, but they started.
It is only 29 they were able to complete. 29 recently. It came to 29. And we came and have completed 30 of them.
But any government that starts building schools doesn't want its people to
my brother, may say it's purely hypocritical and capricious.
Okay, go ahead.
A way of getting money to ask me, those schools that they built there, were they able to finish them and then operationalize them? I am saying that they don't, that is why they were against free SHS. Why should they run about 48 adverts against free SHS? That is not feasible. But they got to realize that when Ghanaians are able to read between the lines and know how to draw the curtain, it will be difficult for them to win election because it's through deception that they win election before. And they are not going to win election again. Look at what he's saying. Look at all that. You see, it is disgraceful and shameful to hear people standing on a political power party and make some statement that zip line and drones and other things are not operationalized, they are not working in this country, while people are experiencing it where it is needed. And you come here and speak just like that because you've been told to come and condemn it. It is sad. For me, I support the idea of getting the offices for our member of parliament. They are elected officers like our MMDCs. Even though our MMDCs are by appointment, they have been elected into office.
So can you wrap up in 1 minute for me so that I will give him the last 1 minute?
You give him the number of hours.
No,
you have not been fair to me.
Because you took go ahead. So you cannot. No, I added it, so go ahead.
You've not added it. I've also
it is our time that is up. That's why.
Then tell me your time's up. Then don't tell me you are going to give him chance.
No, I'm not saying. I said I will give him the last 1 minute.
No. He has spent more than 1 time.
But kindly, you go ahead.
I know.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that our MNDCs have official residence and they have offices as well. They are representing the government, okay, through the powers invested in the president. They are also being appointed into office. And the powers that were given to the president to appoint these people emanated from the good people of the constituencies. Therefore, if the good people of the country directly has selected somebody to represent them at the parliament, it is important also we give them an office to operate. It is not out of place for them to be given an office so that they could be recognized. 2, do you know some of these MPs are businessmen and they bring investors into the country? So if some of them are able to go and bring an investor to his constituency for a particular project, a particular development, that will be supported by the government to bring work to the good people of this constituency, and it has no better place to receive these investors. What picture are we sending out to the investors? The confidence level must be high. The people should see the person being serious and having an office that belongs to the state. He's occupying in the capacity for the of the good people of that constituency. So such transaction can be done and done well. Why don't you say that the president should operate from his house?
That is the president. He can't operate from
see, we are reducing it, okay, gradually. Why don't you say the MMDCs should operate from their house? Okay, so if the government say that now, looking at the other sector of the economy, now it is important as strengthening and deepening the democracy. Let me look at this sector and then give them some offices. It is not for individual. Whoever comes and take over as an MP for that particular constituency, whether NDC or who will occupy it, and for the betterment of this country. So why are they against it? Why are they against it? Because they don't believe in democracy. They don't understand democracy. All that they are seeking to do that, they want Ghanaians through democracy, give them the power, they use the power to steal Ghanaians. Cryptocracy. That is the meaning. And that's how the NDC stands.
So kindly wrap up in all...
What I'm saying is that I completely support that idea.
Okay.
But the government must ensure that there are adequate funds to deal with that, and other sector of the economy should not be in short of any fund. That is what I am saying. Okay. And that is brilliant and fantastic idea by this particular government.
Okay. Right. In 1 minute, just sum everything up.
What I'm trying to say is that
closing,
I am not against that, but I think it's an expenditure that has to be postponed. That is what I'm saying. It must be deferred.
Expenditure that needs to be postponed.
Deferred, yeah. And again, in respect of the fact that the MPP is more democratic than the NDC, it is not up to the two of us to say this here. Because even before the 1992 Constitution, which was actually signed by our founder, in 1988, the District Assembly concept was brought. The first Assembly elections were conducted in 1988, even in the autocratic regime under our founder. And so you can never love democracy than we do.
Okay.
But what we are saying is that you have imposed a lot of taxes on us. You are taking a lot of monies from us. You have to control the expenditure. We are in the midst of hardships. You are taking a lot from the people. Use it for thematic expenditure. That will go a very long way to help the economy. Than to say that people who have offices in Accra, they have been given allowances to buy cars, they have done this and done this. Can't you accommodate them at the various area councils and the district assemblies? Has he forgotten that apart from the district assembly, we have area councils that have offices, and any of them could be a place for the MPs to meet their constituents.
Alex, thank you very much. Unfortunately, our time is up. We have to make way for another segment of the show. But thank you very much, Alex, and thank you very much for coming around. You are in a hurry.
Yes.
You are very much in a hurry, but thank you for coming. We have the next segment, and so kindly stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Malaria nti abayi waye juma bono malaria defo ya o nti awo ahire ne customers ni wahu ne se maami aye smart abe CB Malakio amma ne baya odi ko school she se aduane si berry market tie ni malaria nti a onti mi ni onia entina ho ema we mu biara to wo. So we have malaria test. Maybe we want. And Trebetua and CB Malakio. Yedinuna, Nehama, and now Kikabum Asoneso, I CB Malakio. And no way so dear. And I know grow. I yet tap shit.
A drawing yama a painful. About a woman for any quada one in feed.
Susiana. What would you with
FD Ashusha sa a jedi and crato you aja to Musa and
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Ryanair today. Ryanair, the safest airline in Africa.
Ryanair, fly the dream of Africa.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Ryanair today. Ryanair, the safest airline in Africa.
Ryanair, fly the dream of Africa.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Stepwork premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Yeah, CB will make capsules now. I'm not correct. Why your best mankasa? That's it. Who anyone? Oh, middle. You capsules back on CB men capsules. Me see CB men capsules na make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You name the dada. And one year packaging I the pepper.
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any bianza no akodo pegi.
Share a painful any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada won di fie du en ka ho.
Susanna. Ghana man man tamase.
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750.
FDA aje edwedin ka to yato.